Good evening. A couple from Bridgwater are calling for pregnant women to be given more information about Group B Strep after the infection nearly killed their newborn daughter.
One baby dies and another is left with long-term disabilities every week as a result of the infection. But unlike many other countries, the UK does not routinely test for it in pregnant women.
Well, Ben McGrail met with Jade and Liam Speed, who say more awareness could save lives.
The precious hours after birth should be a time of joy and love between parents and baby. But for Autumn Speed, they were spent fighting for her life after being diagnosed with Group B Strep sepsis. After time in intensive care, Autumn recovered and finally went home 10 days after she was born. Nearly 2 years on, she's happy and healthy. But Group B Strep bacteria is one of the leading causes of pneumonia, sepsis and meningitis in newborns. It's carried by 20 to 40% of women in the UK. But like many, Autumn's mum Jade had no symptoms, wasn't tested for it and had never heard of it.
Even still now, I think I still feel like it is my fault. And no matter how many times I think you reassure me, and obviously the midwives and things who were brilliant, still reassured me. I think there's still a tiny bit of guilt and gut instinct that it was obviously from me, and it did make me feel like I put her in that position. And
I think it's about her first birthday was when you sort of accepted that it wasn't something that you could control. It was something out of your control.
Unlike in countries like the US and France, the UK does not routinely test for Group B Strep. You can pay privately, but there's a growing campaign for all pregnant women to be offered free screening.
The least that needs to be done is that it needs to be mentioned to all pregnant women. They need to be notified of it so they can take the relevant tests. And I understand that the test itself, it will cost the NHS a lot of money. By spending that money to do these tests, they're going to save money because they'll be able to reduce the risk of any child developing any ongoing symptoms or lifelong term illnesses and any ICU admittance. It's spending money to save money.
Good girl, this way.
After a traumatic start to life, there's even more to celebrate for Autumn at this time of year, with her second birthday this month.
She's just grown up to be such a happy, go-lucky little child. She's into everything, she eats everything, she's got to that terrible 2 stage where she's starting to push boundaries.
Yeah, so the second birthday then is going to be a big celebration.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Gotcha.
Ben McGrail, ITV News, Bridgwater.
For more on this, we can speak now to Jane Plum, who is CEO of the Group B Strep support charity. Jane, I think many of us will have the same question here, which is why aren't pregnant women routinely screened for this here in the UK? Why do we seem to be so far behind countries like the USA when it comes to this screening?
Well, sadly, the National Screening Committee has recommended against routinely screening pregnant women, which we think is wrong. The reason they cite is that there's insufficient evidence, and yet, as you've heard, this is routine practice in most developed countries, and those countries have seen their rates fall dramatically, and in the UK, our rate is just going up and up. It's time for change.
Now, there are trials about to take place, aren't there? I think at 80 hospitals across the UK this year. That will screen millions of women, and it does sound like a step in the right direction. But do you think it goes far enough?
I think it's a really good and important step in the right direction. It's something the charity has been calling for quite some time, because it will give a definitive answer to the question of, is the UK's approach better or worse at preventing these dreadful infections in babies than using testing approaches. So we are delighted that this trial is going ahead and are fully supportive.
And there is a test that pregnant women can do at home, isn't there? Is that something that you recommend?
We would like to see all pregnant women informed about Group B Strep, and we worked recently with the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists to develop a leaflet that they and we are recommending to be given to every pregnant woman so that they will be knowledgeable about Group B Strep. And some women will be offered a test within the NHS, but for those who aren't, who don't qualify, those women should be told that this test is available privately from around £35. And we absolutely support women being able to make an informed choice about what's right for them and their babies.
OK, Jane Plum, thank you for your time this evening.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And if you want more information about Group B Strep, there's plenty of information on our website, including links to organisations which can provide help and support.